Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, or whatever time it may be in your neck of the woods. Thank you for stopping by. This is Woody Collins, and we are here again to talk about Congo. And one of the things that I always have uh, wanted to say is I really appreciate it, and all the reason I do all these broadcast is to kind of give you an update, number one, of what's going on, or something that I did. Also, to bring you closer to what other people live like in the world. And so, what we're going to be talking about today is waiting in line for water. And I found this out and experienced this when I was over on my last trip in the Congo, and we were drilling wells, and we would drill this well, and all of a sudden, water would be coming up, and we would start pumping the water and giving water to the women and girls who would be coming up to collect it, and they would not stand in line. Looked like standing in line was a foreign uh, cultural thing. They just wasn't familiar with the thing of standing in line. So we're going to talk about that today, and why do I think that it happens? And finally, we're going to kind of give some statistics on the women and girls who collect water. But also, let's start out with a little amusing thing that happened to me many years ago when I was in Germany skiing, and I think Europeans and especially Germans are more structured than we are here in America, because I've been skiing in America. And when you come down off the mountain and you get ready to go into the lift line, Americans kind of just, you know, kind of semi-orderly start forming a line to do. However, with the Germans, they form a line, they immediately get into line, halfway up, look like it stretches for maybe 50 yards, a line may, if it was that time of the day. Well, when you know, there was somebody coming down the mountain out of control, and all these people are standing up in line, and the person ran into, I think, probably about midways the line, and everybody fell down. So it was almost like bowling pins. He hit that one person, the other person hit that person, the other hit that person. So when I see these women, lining up, I think, are they just being cautious that somebody may knock them down and stop them from, getting water or something? But it was really extremely, stressful for me, because we were working, we would drill these wells, get water coming up, and tell them to get in line. We're going to start pumping the water out so that they can have water. They don't have to walk down to the river or wherever they were getting water from. They can just get the water there, and they would just kind of crowd all around, and they have their buckets and they have their bidons, their jerry cans, and they would just be pushing and shoving. Uh, some people would walk, like, I don't know who they were, but they would want to walk up to the beginning of the line. And so we just had to, one time, we just had to stop them and said, okay, nobody's going to get water. Put your jerry can down, and we will line them all up, and y'all stand off over there on the side, and then when it's full, you can come over and pick it up and move it. I think that was kind of, the extreme of doing it, but it was one of those situations. It was just, why wouldn't they line up to get water? Why would they be pushing and shoving and things like that? First thing I thought about, maybe they are afraid that it's going to be running, the water is going to run out. But that we would see this 2 or 3 days later, uh, because they would still be doing it, but they were still a little bit more orderly at that time. So I think the whole situation goes back to uh, typically women and girls would go down to a river, to a lake, to a area where everybody can, 2 or 3 people could get water at one time. So there was no discipline about, standing in line to get water. They just kind of crowded in, and eventually they would get water. And so if you're getting water out of a stream, you can go stand over at this side of the stream, or you can go stand, you know, 10 feet away, and you can get your water. So I think that was part of it, but it was just still to me kind of really stressful to see women and girls pushing like that. I mean, I guess I was expecting from the standpoint to see men doing it, but men and boys, they typically did not get water that often. You would occasionally see a boy doing it, but mostly it was the women. And and I thought, boy, they are really acting, kind of like know, uh, unladylike and ungirl-like. They're not acting like little girls or something like this. They were really just pushing and shoving and stuff like this. But as I was saying, that it's mostly women and girls that get the water. They are the ones that have to go get the water. And that's throughout not only Congo, but also throughout pretty much throughout Africa. I've seen statistics on it just recently this week that said that girls and women collect 75% of the water is collected by girls and women. So they are the people who are responsible for go getting it, and they have to wait in line. And that waiting is also how you determine whether they have a safely managed water system or they have basic. Number one is one of the rules to say is basic. You have to be an improved source, so a water well is an improved water source, but you have to be able to leave your house and walk to wherever you're getting water to, as in this case, the water well, stand in line, get your water, and be back within 30 minutes. So, I saw some of these girls, they were really looking like, yeah, they knew the rules, and they didn't have time to wait around, and they were going to push themselves up to at the front of the line. But that's just a arbitrary rule, scientific rule that the World Health Organization, the JMP, which is the Joint Management Program, have decided is what is basic level of water is that you can get water, leave your house, go get water from an improved water source, and be back within 30 minutes. So that's kind of my talk on it, on the waiting in line. And like I say, it was one of those things that it took me a while to get used to seeing people pushing for water. I mean, it's just so, unreal. We in America, we line up pretty good and don't cut lines and stuff like that. But in Congo, the women and girls that cut in line, pushing, shoving, and to get that water. And it's kind of like, why are you doing that? It is something that I mean, I guess we don't wait in line to get water. We may wait in line to go to a concert, or we may wait in line to get food, but we don't push and shove. And to me, that was just so uncharacteristic of people just pushing and shoving to get water, which is, it would be like everybody lining up to get to a water faucet, and we're just pushing and shoving. So that's my take on it, and I'd like to know if you have any other different comments about it. Please leave them in the comment section of whatever platform you happen to be listening to this live stream on, and I'll get back with you. And if you got any other questions or want to see something or want to know something about what goes on in the Congo, especially around the topic of water, please let me know. Thank you again, and we will talk with you tomorrow when I will bring up another update on what we were doing in the Congo over the long summer months. So thank you again, and we will talk to you later. Take care, be good, be kind to one another. Goodbye.